Hello, ladies and gents, and welcome to our almost last week of class. We're getting so close. I don't have the video on today, and I apologize for that. Over the weekend, my children got pink eye, which was icky enough on its own, and then they gave it to me this morning, and we're just not going to do a video today, with my face on it. So it's just the audio today. Let's talk about what our week is going to look like here. So this week you are going to be working on, well, today, you're going to be working on perfecting that Project 3 essay, making sure it's all in MLA format, making sure you've got all your resources, you're pulling quotes, you've got a quote in every paragraph and it's all properly cited, that your thesis statement is solid, that you've got clear transitions between paragraphs, that your conclusion is compelling, all of those good things. Make sure that's happening. You're going to be turning in that Project 3 cultural analysis on Tuesday at midnight. Know that the internet gremlins and Murphy's Law and all of those things will converge to make your paper late if you try and submit it at midnight. So, shoot to do it a little earlier. Don't wait until midnight because I don't know why, but something always goes wrong. So shoot to get it in before midnight. That would be a really, really good plan. Then this week, after Tuesday, we are going to be working on the last thing you're going to have to do in this class, which is a reflective letter. So I want to take us to our class so we can look at that real quick. It is in the modules. It has its very own modules folder, which is exciting because you're turning in Project 3 on Tuesday, then you're going to be done with that. Whew, it's done. Amazing. You're going to scroll down to the reflective letter folder and open up that thing. Here's the prompt. Here is the recorded lecture on the habits of mind and the WPA outcomes that you're going to be talking about in the letter. So do make sure to watch this. It's very important. And then I've got a walkthrough on some other things as well. So watch this video before you get started. Basically, the reflective letter is a chance for you to look back and see what we've learned together or what you've learned, if anything, this quarter. And we're going to tie in those things that we're taking from this class into a broader kind of scope. And that broader scope is the WPA, which is the Writing Program Administration. They say that all English composition classes taught in colleges should teach you a certain set of skills. And I talk about that in this video. So you're going to talk about one of those skills from that set and how you learned it in this class. And then we're going to look at the habits of mind. So that's what all of this college association thing has decided that students bring with them into the class and then continue to strengthen throughout the class. So that's things like curiosity, uh, grit, determination, perseverance, those kind of things that you already have that you're bringing into the class. And so you're going to talk about those in your letter as well. So if we take a look at our reflective letter, you'll see that it is written in formal letter style. You are going to want to follow this template closely, which is why I gave it to you. So make sure you've got it formatted. This is for a couple reasons. One, it's great to learn a new style of formatting. We've been working with MLA format all quarter, but sometimes you want to have like a really clear transmittable skill, and writing a formal letter like this is a transmittable skill because if you ever apply for a job, they're going to ask for a cover letter. That cover letter is a formal document, and you're going to want to write it in a formal letter style. And so I want to give you this skill set as well at the end of class. I do teach technical writing, which is English 235, and we do a lot of technical documents like formal letters, resumes, reports, that kind of stuff. So if you're heading into a technical field, that might be something that's helpful as well. You can talk to your, what are they called? They used to be called admissions counselors. Now they're called completion coaches. There we go. You can talk to your completion coach about whether your next English class should be English 102, which is a research writing class. That's typically the one you want if you're transferring to a four-year university. Or if you can take 235, which is a technical writing class, and that's much more geared toward like certificate degrees or going into specific programs like dental hygiene or nursing or something like that. So talk to your completion coach about which class will be the next best step for you. But there's a little rundown on what that is. All right, off that rabbit trail, back here, here we go. Here is how a formal letter is composed. You're going to have your name. You don't have to put your real address. You can just make something up like 123 Sesame Street. That's totally fine if you don't want to put your real one. Then put the date. This is written out format, so it would be November 27th, 2023. Then all of my information. You do address the letter with the word dear. I know it feels like you're talking to your grandma, like, dear grandma, for Christmas, I would like. But that's actually the proper salutation in a formal letter as well. So, dear Professor Wardley is how this would start. You'll notice that these are block paragraphs. They're not indented. They all go out to that 1-inch margin on the left-hand side of the page. Then we're going to jump into our letter, and this template actually tells you what needs to be in every single paragraph, so it's twofold. It tells you what you need to do, and it tells you how to do it. Cool, right? I know, it's like super meta, it's so neat. So the first paragraph is going to talk to you about your impressions of the quarter. This is kind of your intro paragraph. You're going to be talking about your impression of the quarter, like coming into English 101, I kind of thought it was going to be like the worst thing that ever happened to me, or whatever you want to say. And then we are going to have what we would call a thesis as the last sentence of this intro paragraph. And that thesis is going to take the form of a metaphor or a simile. And if you think back to high school when you learned metaphor and simile, it's comparing two things that are maybe not expected to help somebody understand a concept better. So you could say English 101 is like a roller coaster ride. So we're comparing English 101 and a roller coaster ride. Those are two dissimilar things that we're comparing in order to enhance understanding. So English 101 is like a roller coaster ride. It had its ups and downs. But at the end, I'm glad I went on the ride. Or something like, however you want to say it, whatever metaphor or simile you want to use. I've had so many fun ones from this prompt. English 101 is like a tree. My skills grow slowly, but I can see progress, or something like that. English 101 is like a garden. It takes a lot of work to tend, but you do see growth at the end of the quarter. Or English 101. This was one I enjoyed a lot because this doesn't always have to be positive. If the class wasn't a positive experience for you, that's okay. Like, not every class is the perfect fit for every person through no fault of like really anyone. We've got different teaching styles, we've got different learning styles, we've got different interest in topics. Like, life stuff could have been going on that made this quarter really difficult for you. All of that can play into this. So one student once wrote, English 101 is like a toilet because I felt like I flushed all of my time and effort down the toilet this quarter, or something like that. And then they spent the rest of the letter supporting that. And as long as you do that, as long as you give specific examples and support your ideas, that metaphor works. So the last sentence of this paragraph is going to be a metaphor. Then the next paragraph, you're going to talk about your metaphor assembly as it connects to project 1. So remember back to Murder on the Orient Express, if we're talking in terms of like English 101 is a roller coaster, we could say project 1 was kind of that slow chug up that first steep hill, like chug, 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 chug. It felt like we were going kind of slow because we had to read a whole book, but then we got to the top and submitted the essay, and my hands were in the air screaming the whole time because it was really difficult to write, or something like that, whatever you want to say. And then you're going to mention a WP outcome or habit of mind. So you could say something like Project 1, WP outcomes, one of those is the ability to research. So the WP outcome I learned in Project 1 was how to research to find sources that supported my argument on whether justice or revenge was the primary theme of the novel. And then we're going to give a habit of mind example. We'd say in Project 1, the habit of mind I used was curiosity because this was a murder mystery that I had to solve and then figure out what the theme was. It took a lot of curiosity to really engage with the project, to engage with the characters, and to kind of try and see things from their point of view. Something like that. That could be your paragraph. I mean, use your own words and your own ideas, obviously. Then you're going to do the same thing with Project 2. Tie Project 2 into the metaphor. Talk about how Project 2 taught you one of the WPA outcomes and how Project 2 taught you one of the, or not taught you, because you already had them, honed one of your habits of mind. Then in the next paragraph, you're going to do the same exact thing with project 3. Tie it into your metaphor or simile. Tell me how project 3 taught you a WPA outcome or strengthened something that you already knew from the WPA. And then talk about how project 3 strengthened one of your habits of mind that you already had that you brought to the table. Then in the next paragraph, we're going to discuss the idea of transfer. And transfer is this idea in academia that you want to take skills from one class and bring them with you to the next class. So they're going to transfer from English 101 to whatever class you take next with you. They're going to go with you. So those skills don't have to be I learned how to write an essay, or I learned how to write an MLA format. Both amazing skills. I really hope you got some of that from this class, but it can be more intangible things too. You're like, something I'm going to take from this class is critical thinking. When I read an article, I'm going to wonder what point of bias maybe it comes from. Or something I'm going to take from this class is to think about how my own opinions are being swayed by the media that I consume, because that ties into project 2, like that idea of bias in the jury pool. So it doesn't have to be a tangible skill like MLA format. It can be something much more uh, metaphorical or less tangible if you want. And then you're going to close the letter with your overall impression of the class. This is your chance to tell me, like, was there something that worked really well in the class or something that didn't work at all? I would love to make this class even better for the next round of folks. So if there's anything that you think could have been done better, please let me know here, because I would love, love, love to continue to improve on this class for the next round of folks who take it. If something worked really great, please tell me about that too, so I know I should keep it. And then sign the letter. You don't have to like print this off and sign it with a pen and then like submit a PDF. That's a lot of work. You really don't have to do that. Just sign it with like a cursive font from Word and you'll be good to go. That's all you got to do. And then type out your name and you're done. That's the last thing we're doing in this class. It's so exciting. So you're going to be working on that this week. If we take a look at our calendar here, slowly as the internet works, you're going to be working on the reflective letter all of this week, because when we get to next week, it's always good to look forward, right? It's finals week. And you turn in the reflective letter on the 5th, and then you are done with the class. You are donezo. Free birds. You don't have to worry about this anymore. The exit essay is written on here. You only have to take the exit essay if you scored less than 30 points on the diagnostic essay. So I'll be sending out emails to the people who have to take the exit essay. If you don't get an email from me, you don't have to take the exit essay. Sound good? Awesome. If you have any questions, as always, let me know. I'm here to help.